What's good, YouTube? It's your boy SphinX and welcome back to another video. Today we have a lot of news to talk about with MW4, so without further ado, let's get right into the video. And yes, you heard it here first, folks. Logic is back. We decided to take a break. I don't know how long we've been off YouTube, but we decided to take a break so we can evaluate ourselves, see what we can do better. I don't want to really get too much into it because we are going to come out with a video explaining everything with a few of our members, including myself. But yeah, we're gonna save that for another video, but for now, let's get straight into the news. First things first, we are going to talk about the reveal date. Now, we all know it's the time around for Call of Duty 2019 to start getting all these rumors and stuff to be rolling out, and we can start seeing what is going to be in the game, what features, the release dates, reveal dates, whatever is going to be popping off about around this time. And the release date for supposedly Modern Warfare 4 has been potentially leaked by a GameStop employee. Now, what is up on the screen is an image of a stock service from where company employees can order special shirts called employee t-shirt COD reveals, which is what all of these are named with the different sizes and stuff. Now, these are promotional t-shirts. You might have seen like a couple GameStop employees when like a upcoming game is about to be released before like a month or so. Then they'll wear the shirt saying, you know, like, hey, this is gonna come out. Well, this is basically what the t-shirts are. Now, under these individual size options, there is a date on which the shirt can be first worn. Now, if you take a look at the descriptions, they show the dates of May 28th, while others showed June 4th. Now, given between these two dates, May 28th and June 4th, we can confirm, and Activision pretty much already confirmed, that the next COD in 2019 will be officially announced between sometime May 28th and June 4th. So we have something to look forward to at the end of May and at the beginning of June 4th, and we can finally see if it is either Modern Warfare 4 or something else. And then there was another hint a few days ago, May 9th, where Chaos Silencer, he tweeted at Robert Bolin. If you guys don't know, he is or was the former creative director at Infinity Ward. You know, he's basically the boss of what goes into Modern Warfare's and all the other games that were made by Infinity Ward. So basically, he tweeted at Robert Bolin saying, "See, Robert, we can do that as well." And then below is a photograph of a Photoshop picture of Modern Warfare 4 on the screen and on his t-shirt. And then he later responded on the bottom saying, "You guys are going to get me in trouble." Now, of course, we do have to keep in mind that all of these are indeed rumors, so we can't just go out and say Modern Warfare 4 is coming out, Modern Warfare 4 is going to be so cool, MW4 is going to be the best COD of all time, because we don't even know what the game is yet. But like I said before, we're going to see towards the end of the month and at the beginning of June. So we're just going to have to wait a few weeks for that to come out. But we do have some criticism from Scump, SlayeR, and some other COD Pro players about what they think will make the next COD the greatest game of all time. Games Radar decided to pull in Optic Gaming Scump, 100 Thieves SlayeR, United Prestini, and Team Reciprocity's Weskin so that they can get an insight on what they think will make Modern Warfare 4 one of the best games of all time. According to Scump, the next Call of Duty would be great if they would go back to the basics and fundamentals that would make Modern Warfare games so popular back then, you know, without all the jetpacks and all of that stuff. If they would just go back to the basics and revise over the past Call of Duties of what made the game so great in the first place, with a few implementations of enough changes to make it seem new. He said in an interview, quote, "Back in the day, Call of Duty 4 was very simple and people loved that about it. But I don't know if simple works anymore. We've had this game, you have advanced movement with the sliding and all of that. So I feel that if they go back to a standard boots on the ground game, it'll be a little too slow for people. I've always loved the Modern Warfare series, so hopefully they come out with a good product and go back to some of the roots, but also implement a few new changes." And we all know this formula seen by Epic Games where the community and the developer have sort of a connection with each other. That developer listens to the community and they develop a connection, and that's why Fortnite is one of the best games, because the community makes a ton of feedback to the developer fixes it, and they listen to exactly what they say. Well, I don't know about right now with what's going on with the all of that mess. But before, all that chaos and stuff went on, the community would send feedback to the developers over at Epic Games, and they would fix it, and the community will be happy and yay. Well, this is what Prestini and Wuskin has been saying in this interview. They want to be able to have that connection with the developers, and they tell them to listen to the players. Quote, that's what any game needs to do, really. There's complaints and there's certain things that needs to be fixed as soon as possible, but a lot of the time the community speaks out about it and it's left undone and untouched for many months. Perfect example of 2K, but let's go back to the quote. I think as long as they listen to their community first and get on these things right away, they'll be successful because Modern Warfare games are always fantastic. And I had to mention NBA 2K because they're like pretty much well known for leaving the game dry as soon as they release it. They don't care. They move on to the next game. If you guys watch any NBA 2K content creators such as my boy Agent Zeros, shout out to him. He explains all of that mess, and yeah, 2K18 was the perfect example. So yeah, if you guys are interested in whatever, go ahead and check that out. But quoted by Prestini, that's what he had to say about that. Also, Wuskins also said, quoted, it comes out to the developers listening to what people want and what people don't want. That's the one thing we lack. If you look at other series games, let's say a lot of people came together and say that they want this or they don't want this. It normally happens, but with us, it doesn't happen. And then SlayeR went the other way and said that esports should play a major role. And I kind of do agree with this because esports, or they pretty much make the game what it is. Fortnite, I want to use Fortnite as an example because it's one of the biggest games out right now. If it wasn't for the World Cup and all of that, it would still be in the same state. It was still popular and all of that, but a ton of people started watching it, and then that made a ton of people started playing it, and then broadcasting it and live streaming, and then it just created this whole wave of players and people who just want to watch players play. Well, this is exactly what SlayeR is saying. Quote, Call of Duty games right now are made to appease both and lean more towards the casual side, and I understand that. But I feel like if they went all in on esports and people understood the competition level and how much more fun it can be, the game will be more successful. Now, of course, we all know that esports has gained a lot of clout and stuff from these Call of Duty tournaments, starting with, I believe, back in Black Ops 3. I think that's where it was first introduced, where you can watch it through the game itself, and then it started gaining popularity and stuff. So I believe that this also plays a major role. Now, I do have to say that all these players have one thing in common. They all want the old-fashioned Call of Duty. Now, I'm not talking about the boots on the ground and having 3 kills for UAVs. No, I'm talking about they just want the basics of the game. They don't want all these other, crazy guns and stuff like that. They just want to go back to the basics and then just implement a few changes to go along the way, such as adding more esports stuff, and then they can listen to the community and then see what their take is on the game so that the developers can listen to the community and then improve from there. And then it would create this circle so that the game would be one of the best games of all time. Does that make sense? I gotta say, I haven't saw from any other Call of Duty titles except for World War II. I think that's where they started to really listen to what the community had to say, and then they built it off of that. So yeah, definitely listen to the community, see what they have to say. They might have some great ideas on what they can implement into the game to make it one of the best COD titles of all time. I mean, Fortnite did very well with it, and yeah, just basically take notes from Epic Games and then your game should be pretty fine. And that is all the news that I have for you guys for today. If you guys have enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more awesome content. Again, this is your boy Logic Phoenix. Peace out, guys, and stay logic.